Hello friends, in this lecture we will learn about Mahajanpad time period. At, at the time of Buddha, 16 Mahajanpad developed in northern part of India. We will see about these Mahajanpads in this lecture. Rise of Mahajanpads. From 600 BC onwards, people started living a more settled life. Their attitude changed; they become loyal to Janpad territory instead of Jan or tribe. In Vedic time or later Vedic age, the people were more loyal to tribe or Jana. But uh, in Mahajanpad time period, people were more loyal to territory or Janpada. And this resulted in the rise of Mahajanpada. And the reason for more settled life or rise of Mahajanpada are agriculture surplus because of use of iron in agriculture and better agriculture techniques like Sali. Sali was rice transplantation term in Pali, Prakrit and Sanskrit language. And agriculture work was mainly done by slave and kamakara. Kamakara was a Pali term for landless labor, and the land measurement at that time was done in Karisa, Nivartana, and Kullewapa units. And enough agriculture produce paved the way for other merchant activity in Mahajanpada, and this resulted in merchant guild. And at that time, merchant guild was known as Sreni. Sreni is Sanskrit term for merchant guild. And the high economic activity in Mahajanpada led to a good taxation system, and this resulted in rise of Mahajanpadas. Sreni or guild. Uh, Sreni was the group of merchants. Sreni was headed by Pamukh, Pravara or Jesta, and Sreni had their own armed guard there's, that are used to guard the area where merchant activity is going on, and they are known as Sreni Bala, and they have their own courts, and these courts are known as Sreni Nyalaya. Sreni were bounded by their own laws or regulation, and it was called as Sreni Dharma. The member of Sreni circulated their own seal for trade purposes, and traders used to move in caravans called sartha, and the carrier of sartha was known as Sarathavaha. In the Mahajanpat time period was dominated by northern black polish ware, NBPW pottery, northern black polished ware pottery. In later Vedic age, the dominant pottery was painted grey ware, but in Mahajanpat time period, the dominant pottery was northern black polished ware. The tax system in Mahajanpat peak time period. Bhag was the one-sixth of the agriculture produce and collected by Bali Sadhak with the help of or Bhojak our village headman. And a craft person had to pay tax in the form of free labor for the king, and he has to work one day on each month, on every month. A herder used to pay tax in the form of agriculture and animal produce. Hunter and gatherers used to pay in the form of forest produce, and trader used to pay custom duty on sales of product. And toll tax was collected by officer known as Sahulkhika or Sulkadhyach. The the collected tax was stored under the guidance of Bhandagarika. He was treasurer at that time. The 16 Mahajanpads. Uh, We get description of 16 Mahajanpads from Buddhist text Anguttara Nikaya and also from Jain text Bhagavati Sutra. But Bhagavati Sutra give a different set of 16 Mahajanpas, and we will use the Anguttara Nikaya text as reference one for our study. So the 16 Mahajanpads are listed here. And the first Mahajanpads were Ang with capital at Chamba. Second is Magd, capital at Giriraj or Rajgir. Third is Kasi, capital at Kasi. Fourth is Vats, capital at Kosambi. Fifth is Kosla, capital at Sravasti. Sixth is Saursena, capital at Mathura. Seventh is Panchal, capital at Achitra at or Chatravati. Eighth is Kuru, capital at Indraprasth. Ninth is Mats, capital at Viratnagar. Tenth is Cheti Mahajanpad, capital at Suktimati. 11th is Avanti, capital at Ujjain and Mahismati. 12th is Gandhara, capital at Tachsila. 13 is Kamboj, capital at Poonch. 14 is Asaka, capital at Podana or Putana. 15 is Vajji, capital at Vaisali, and 16 is Malla, capital at Kusinara. Here is the these 16 Mahajanpad are represented in map. You can see Kamboj and Gandhara as the northwestern Mahajanpad, and from when you move to eastward, you will find Kuru Mahajanpad at the bank of Yamuna River, and Shorsena also at the bank of Yamuna River, then Panchal at the bank of Ganga River, and Matas, Avanti, Chedi, Vats, Mala, Kasi, Magd, Vriji, and and uh, for Asaka, you will find Asaka is situated at the bank of Godavari River. It was the southernmost Mahajanpad. Uh, in 16 Mahajanpads, 14 Mahajanpads, at 14 Mahajanpads there were monarchy system, but at two Mahajanpads, Malla and Vajji, there was republican system. In monarchy system, the decision was taken by king with the help of mantri parshad, while in the republic system, Malla and Vajji, the decision was taken by a voting system. For voting, salags or wooden block were used. These salags were collected by Salag Gahapaka for counting of votes. The voting hall is known as Santhagara. Santhagara. Malla. Uh, it was republican state with Gansang, confederation of 9 territories. Two important Gansang of Malla are Kusinara, the place where Buddha died, and Pava, the place where Mahavira died. Vajji was the second republican state with guns and confederation of many territories. The most powerful clan of the Vajji Mahajanpad was Lichvi of Vaisali. Other important clans are Sakya of Kapilvastu, where Buddha born, and Jantrika of Kundalgram, where Mahavira born. Kamboj. The Mahajanpad was on the both side of Hindukush mountain with the capital at Punacha. In Arthashastra and Ashok Edict number 13, Kamboj is mentioned as Republican Mahajanpad, but as per Panini, Kamboj was a monarchical state. In the fourth Mahajanpad, Gandhara. Gandhara was famous for Tatsila University, and the capital of Gandhara was also Tatsila. Um, Panini was a 5th century BC scholar of Tatsila University, and he wrote Ashtadhyayi Sanskrit grammar book, and Ashtadhyayi helped the development of uh, Sanskrit language more systematically. Ac- Achaemenian ruler of Iran, Cyrus, attacked and took control of Cambodia and Gandhara. In 516 BC, Darius I, grandson of Cyrus, captured Sindh province, and he made the Indian territory as 20th satrap of Iran out of 28 satraps. Xerxes, the successor of Darius I, employed Indians in war against Greek. These two Mahajanapads continued to be the part of Iranian Empire till its invasion by Alexander. Um, Before that, it was part of Iranian Empire. When Alexander attacked, it became Greek territory. But we still study in 16 Mahajanapads because the people who used to live in those areas were uh, same as Vedic people. In in this 200-year rule of Iran on Gandhara, Indo-Iran trade got a boost and start of the use of Kharosthi script in northwest India. And some historians say punched mark coins in India were introduced under the influence of Iran, but many historians reject this. And this was because the largest hoard of coin was found at UP and Bihar region that was too far from Gandhar and Kamboj area. Avanti Mahajanpad. Uh, it was divided into north and south by river Narmada. The capital of northern Avanti was Ujjain and the capital of southern Avanti was Mahismati. Iron mine in eastern MP gave cutting edge to Avanti. Forging and smelting of iron ore was done at Ujjain to make good quality weapons. So, because of iron ore, they become powerful Mahajanpads. Avanti king Chandra Pradyot Mahasen fought an unsuccessful war with Gandharas. He also fought with Bimbisar of Magad, but eventually he decided to make up with Magad. And later, when Chand Pradyut Mahasen suffered from jaundice, Bimbisar sent royal physician Jivika to Ujjain. Uh, and Avanti was remain independent for a good period of time, but it became part of Magad when Sisunak defeated the king Nandivarman, and after that it became part of Magd Empire. Asaka or Asmaka. Asaka Mahajanpad was located on the bank of Godavari river with capital Putana or Putali. Panchala. It was this Mahajanpad Panchala was situated at the east of Kuru kingdom or east of Ganga river with capital at Adichatra or Chhatravati. Panchal were close allies of Kuru tribe or Kuru Mahajanpad. Kuru Mahajanpad, Kuru ruled over the present is eastern UP and Delhi region, with its capital at Indraprasth on the bank of Yamuna river. Matsya Mahajanpad, its territory lies south of Kuru kingdom and west of Yamuna river, with, with its capital at Viratnagar. Saurasena, its territory lies east of Matsya Kingdom and west of Yamuna River with its capital at Mathura. Vats were the branch of Kuru tribe who settled around the Allahabad region. They were originally Kuru and they get settled around Allahabad region with the capital at Kosambi. Udyan, one of the king of Vats, endorsed Buddhism, and because of him, the spread of Buddhism happened in his kingdom. Chedi. This Mahajanpad this Mahajanpad situated south of the river Yamuna along the river Ken with capital at Suktimati. Sisupala was the ruler of Chedi kingdom at the time of Lord Krishna. Kosla, uh, this kingdom, this Mahajanpad was associated with Lord Rama. At the time of Buddha, this kingdom was ruled by King Prasenjit. His sister was married to Bimbisar of Magh, and Kasi was the dowry in this marriage alliance. Kosla was annexed by Ajat-Satru Magh at the time of King Vidudhabha, son of Prasenjit. So it also became part of Magh. Kasi was annexed into the Kosla kingdom by King Kamsa before the birth of Buddha. Ang Ang was uh, Ang was separated from Magdha by Champa river, and it was the first kingdom to be annexed by Magd or Bimbisar. Now we will see the Magd Mahajanpad, and this Mahajanpad was become more powerful than any other Mahajanpad. The reason for the rise of Magd are ambitious ruler like Bimbisar, Ajatsattu, and Mahapad Nand. They want to expand their territory. They have expansionist policy, and avail in Magd region there was availability of rich iron ore, uh, and this facilitated in manufacturing of high quality weapons and agriculture tools. The capital of the Magd was Rajgir, which was fortified with hills, and the second capital was Patliputra, which was fortified with rivers Ganga, Gandak, Son, and Ghaggar. The river system around the Patliputra facilitated easy transportation and communication. Abundance of timber in nearby region also gave boost to Magd Mahajanpur. The timber was used for making boat and other wood construction. Environmental factors also supported Magd Mahajanpur in, in reference to agriculture production. And Magd was the first Mahajanpur to use elephant on large scale in war. The founder of Magd was Jarasandh and Brihadrath. But the rise of Magd started under the Haryang dynasty. Magd was inhabited by Kirats and Magda tribe, and these two tribes get mixed with Vedic people. So dynasty of Magd, prominent dynasty of Magd that ruled over Magd is Haryang, Sisunag, Nand, Mauryan, Sung, and Kanv dynasty. Now, for what time period they ruled over the region was mentioned in this table, and also the region. So Haryang dynasty ruled from 546 to 413 BC, and they ruled over the region of Bihar and eastern UP. Sisunak dynasty ruled from 413 BC to 345 BC, and roughly the region was Bihar, eastern UP, and MP. So Sisunak attacked Avanti and annexed the Avanti region. Then the third dynasty was Nanda dynasty. Nanda dynasty ruled from 345 BC to 321 BC, and uh, they ruled over the territory of Bihar, Eastern UP, MP, and Bengal. So they annexed the Bengal region. And the fourth dynasty, Mauryan dynasty, it ruled from 321 BC to 184 BC, and at that time they ruled over the large part of India. They were king of a big kingdom from uh, from Gandhar to from Gandhar in west to Bengal in east and up to south region. Hampi was also part of Mauryan Empire. Then comes Sung Empire, Sung dynasty. They ruled from 184 BC to 73 BC, and after the Mauryan time period, the territory start getting declined. Though so Sung dynasty ruled over the region of Bihar, Eastern UP, and some portion of Bengal. Then came Kang dynasty, and Kang dynasty ruled from 73rd BC to 28 BC, and they mainly ruled over the Bihar region. The territory was very confined, only a small portion of Bihar region. So we will see different dynasty of different Magh dynasties. Uh, so first dynasty is Haryang dynasty. Bimbisar, he ruled from 546 BC to 499 BC, and he was contemporary of Buddha, and he was founder of Haryang dynasty. He fought two wars, one with the Ang and another one with Ujjain. He annexed Ang and put it under the governorship of his son Ajat Satru. He made marriage alliances with Khosla Lichui princes of Vaisali and Madra clan of Punjab region to and he received embassy and letter from Gandhar, from the kingdom of Gandhar, Mahajanpad of Gandhar. He sent royal physician Jivika to Ujjain on the request of King Chandra Pradyut Masen. Uh, we learned that this earlier also in we learned that this one in Avanti or Ujjain Mahajanpad Mahajanpad territory. The second ruler of Haryang dynasty was Ajat-Satru. He was son of Lichui princess. He killed his father to become king, and he organized first Buddhist council under the chairmanship of Mahakasyap at Rajgir. Rajgir was the capital at the time of Bimbisar and at the time of Ajat-Satru. Um, he was aggressive and he has expansionist policy, and this resulted in war with Khosla. After Khosla, he attacked on Vaisali. Vaisali was the region from Vaisali was the region where his mother lived before marriage. So he has maternal relationship with Vaisali, but he still attacked on Vaisali to expand his kingdom. And he won war because of the use of catapults. And he also used chariot with mace attached on it. The third king of Haryak dynasty was Udyan. He ruled from 460 BC to 444 BC. He was the founder of Patliputra city, and he shifted capital from Rajgir to newly founded city Patliputra. So now uh, the new capital of Magध is Patliputra. Uh, Nagadaska was the last ruler of Haryang dynasty, and he was killed by his minister Sisuna. Now Sisunak dynasty. Uh, Sisunak was the founder of Sisunak dynasty, and he was the minister of Haryak dynasty who killed the last Haryak ruler to become king. He killed uh, he killed Nagadaska to become king, and he shifted the capital from Patliputra to Vaisali. Sisuna, and he also ended the Hundred-Year War with Avanti Ujjain, and later Avanti was merged into Magध Empire or Magध Mahajanpad. Karl Ashoka, Karl Ashoka organized Second Buddhist Council under the chairmanship of Sabhakami at Vaisali, and Kalasoka shifted capital from Vaisali to Patliputra, and from Kalasoka there was no shift in capital, so the capital of Magd was fixed at Patliputra. In between, you will find the capital was Vaisali because of Sisunak shifted capital from Patliputra to Vaisali. So Vaisali was capital of Magd Empire for a very short span of time. But later, again, Patliputra became the capital of Magd Empire. Nanda dynasty. Mahapadma Nanda. He was known as destroyer of Chhatri. Mahapadman was founder of Nanda dynasty. He attacked Kalinga and brought Jimna image from Kalinga as war victory. Um, the Kaling war of Muhammad Nand was mentioned in Hathi Gumfa inscription of of uh, 100 BC by King Kharvel. And the Mahapadnand was also known as Eka Rath, sole sovereign of large territory. The next ruler after Mahapadnand was Dhananand. And during the rule of Dhananand, Alexander invaded northwestern India. Alexander crossed Khyber Pass in 327 BC, and in 326 BC, Ambi, the ruler of Takshashila, surrendered to Alexander. And in the same year, 326 BC, Porus, the king who ruled the region between Jhelum and Shinar, fought bravely with Alexander in the Battle of Hydaspes. Although Porus lost the war, but Alexander reinstated him after getting impressed with his bravery. After this, Alexander marched up to the Beas River, but his army refused to go further beyond Beas River because they were afraid of uh, Nanda army. And Sati system and sale of girls were mentioned by Greek writers. As Alexander invaded India, so trade between India and Greek get boost, and various Greek writer wrote about India and 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 the society and culture of India. So Sati system and sale of girls were also mentioned by Greek writers. Now, Sung and Kan dynasty. Um, we will cover Mauryan dynasty in separate lecture. So, the after Mauryan dynasty, there was Sung and Kan dynasty. So, we will cover Sung and Kan dynasty. Uh, Sung dynasty. Pushimit Sung, a Brahmin commander-in-chief of Mauryan ruler. He, he assassinated the last Mauryan ruler Brihadrath, and he founded the Sung ruler. He was succeeded by his son Agnimitra, and later Sung ruler were weak. During Sunga reign, during Sung reign, Magd was attacked by Satvahana, Kalinga, and Indo-Greek rulers. Uh, and according to some records, Meander I marched up to Patliputra, but Sunga managed to reclaim it under the leadership of Vasumitra, grandson of Pushyamitra Sung. So you can see how weak the Magd become, that even the Kaling and Indo-Greek attacked on Magd area, and Indo-Greek ruler marched up to Patliputra uh, area. And Devbhuti was the last Sung ruler, and he got killed by his own minister Vasudev Khan. The first century BC, Yagnaraj or Maghera inscription, a Sanskrit inscription of Mathura, shows that at that time the Mathura was ruled by Indo-Greek. So Sung has no territorial control over the Mathura region also. And as the Sungves was a Brahminical dynasty, some ruler of dynasty persecuted Buddhist monks. Kan. The Kan dynasty was founded by Vasudev Kan and he was Brahman. This dynasty was brought to an end by the Satvahana in 28 BC. After Mahajanpad time period, in Mahajanpad time period, uh, trade started from India to Greek region and other part of world. And after Mahajanpad time period, there was port development in different region of India. So the ancient Indian port were mentioned in this figure. You can see the important port Bari Gaja, also known as Baruch port, Mujeris and Tindis port of Chera region of Chera kingdom, and Uriyur, Uriyur and Poduka and other port. Most of the port in this figure is mentioned in Greek language because this ancient port we get detail of these ancient port from the book Periplus of Erythraean Sea. The word Periplus of Erythraean Sea is Greek word, and Periplus means sailing around. In English, it means sailing around, and Erythraean Sea is Red Sea. So the meaning of Periplus of Erythraean Sea is sailing around Red Sea, the sea between uh, between Middle East region and Africa region. So this book was written in first century AD in Greek language by some unknown Egyptian writer, and this book gives description of trading ports of India in ancient times. So if you can remember the port name, that will help you in objective question like Chaul port and Kalyan port in Maharashtra region, etc. So, and with this, I will end the lecture of 16 Mahajanpas. Thank you.